Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Beagles Games Guitars. In today's video, I'll be doing an unboxing and assembling of the folded space insert for Tapestry. Alrighty guys, the Tapestry insert from Folded Space just came out a couple of months ago. This is compatible with all the expansions of Tapestry. And right here I have the version 2, and this is a color insert. So if you see on the box there, it actually does have quite a few different colors. And as we open and I start assembling, you're going to see that different trays even have artwork, unlike the other Folded Space inserts that I have. So let me take you to the top and we'll do a top-down unboxing of this insert. All right, let's unbox this insert. Is it taped? You'll see how deft my hands are. Usually they come out like that. You can set that to the side. Now I've been told that the assembly instructions for these are incorrect, and I think it's tray 4 that is incorrect. So at some point I'm going to have to get some device like my phone and Google, because they actually have how it's assembled. So here are all the trays. I set that off camera. Like I said, they're nice and pretty and color coded. Give you a nice look at them all. And then I'm just going to stack some on top. Wow, so there's 8 sheets, front and back colored. And then we have 2 entire front to back assembly and setup instructions here. Science, exploration, military, and technology. I do not have the snaps or the bases of the buildings. I didn't see a reason to buy those. I can differentiate them. So now we will do some dry assembly. So I will start following these instructions and putting each of them together. Okay, I'm going to be assembling tray 1A, 1B. So this is going to be sheet 1 and 7. I'm going to time lapse some of this to kind of cut down, and I'll show you what they look like after I dry assemble them. So this is trays 1A and 1B. I guess these are for the inspiration tiles. 2 of them says they're identical and they don't have a side right there. So now I'm going to switch over to tray 2A, B, C, and D. So this will require sheets 1 and 7 again. So let's get started. So these are trays 2A, B, C, and D. And you can see yellow has like a yellow rim around it. And then blue has nice blue around it. And then green and red. So it's a 5-player game. I'm looking for the 5th tray. That's probably coming up. So the next tray is tray 3, and it's going to do 1 sheet, sheet 4. So let's do that. So this is tray 3, the white player pieces. They got the clouds, they're pretty. And here is a size comparison. So I guess to make room for the 5th player, they had to make an oblong shape. So the next tray is going to be tray 4. So it's going to require 2 sheets, 2 and 8 and 5. So I guess I have to punch out both of those from 2 and 8, and then 5 is only going to have those 2. So let's get to it. So tray 4 looks like this. I think this is the one that was wrong. You have all the dice parts here, monolith and stadium, for some reason on the bottom. But right here it has arts buildings, I think, and tapestry and barn is what it says. I'm going to set that aside and we will continue on. So I'm doing variant 1. So I'm going to do tray 5V1. Yet again, it's going to require sheets 2 and 8 and 5. So I'll dig those out and assemble this. Tray 5 variant 1 has a stadium here, but I noticed in 4, the back of this says stadium. So I don't know if they're going to just conveniently stack, see if they don't fit. This is where I think they might have gotten it wrong, but this says comm tower, and that's the comm tower. And the stadium, there's no other artwork anywhere else on this except for in here. Sorry, let me hold it that way. Library, stock market, monolith, and bakery. So the monolith is on this one as well, and the stadium is on that side. So they might end up stacking like that later on. Anyways, we'll remember that. And we're going to move on to tray 6 variant 1, and I will dig out just sheet 5. All right, here looks like a bunch of the blue buildings will go here. Bird Perch, Windmill, Bridge, Villa, Game Store, and then the Evercastle. So I do have a picture of a game store. There's the bird house. That is the villa, and that is the bridge. So this seems correct. On the very back of it shows all 5 tracks. So I wonder where that comes into play. So that's tray 6 version 1. We're going to move down to tray 7 version 1. So sheets 2 and 8, sheet 3, and sheet 5. All right. I'm assuming these are the 3 main buildings for each of the 4 base tracks. I guess that's technology. And then military? I don't know. It's a different variant. Exploration has a ship. And I would say that would be, I don't know. And look at all those back there on the underside. I guess for different versions. Since I'm doing version 1, mine's not going to be 100%. So doing tray 8 now, which is only sheet 3. This is the exploration tiles and the space tiles. So exploration map, ship, you even have a planet, and then another exploration map. So this is tray 8. There is no variant of tray 8. Neither of 9 or 10 have variants. So moving on to 9, this will be sheets 2 and 8. Okay, I saw error in the punch out. So in tray 9, it says for both sheets 2 and 8, you punch out the center area. So there's sheet 2 that you punch out, and sheet 8 that you punch out. So this is only 1 tray, so you don't need 2 bases. And it's a tapestry symbol for the tapestry cards. So that might have been one of the errors that people are talking about. But if you move on to tray 10, it's telling you to punch out sheet 2 and 8 in the both same section again. So I think that's where the error came in. So I'm just going to move on to tray 10 and punch out the rest on sheet 4. Oh, it says to punch out the little side boy on sheets 2 and 8. So that was probably the error right there. Okay. All right, tray 10 was a little tricky for my brain, but I got it figured out there. I had it backwards, as you probably saw real fast on the time lapse. Masterpiece cards, the little building tokens, and then the landmark starting cards. No artwork under. Definitely dry assemble before you glue. I think there's a tray 11, so there's one more tray. So we're going to exhaust sheet 4 here. All right, this was the brain burner of all of them because there's an indentation right there. So on the chart, it shows you putting this dice tray in here first, and you actually assemble the inside walls first, and then you actually go below. It looks really weird. So I actually started from the finished tray and kind of worked my way backwards. That's what helped me get that figured out. So now that I have them all dry assembled, I'm gonna try and put them all together right here and see if they actually will fit into the box of the base game. So here we go. Tapestry, first printing. So this is how I currently store Tapestry. Pretty proud of it because I got the 2 expansions fitting in here as well. So we'll do a time lapse of this because it's going to take a while. For all you non-folded space people, I was able to fit every single building from all the expansions into the Plans Employees box, and it fit in here. And then I got rid of the real cheesy draw bag, and I got my own draw bag. Crown Royal Peach, baby. So the last expansion condensed all these rules. So this is base game stuff right here. So those right there, all 4 of these are base game. Here is arts and architecture right there. And then these are the Plans Employees. I think this is base game too. So this all just went into one rule book, and I think it really helps. Okay, now we're gonna dry assemble and see if all these bits fit into the Tapestry box right here. Okay, so I did variant 1, so I was able to somewhat easily fit them all in there. This is all dry assembled, and they made their way in there. Before I get to gluing, since I know there was possibly an error in this insert, I'm going to load everything into the boxes dry and see if they all fit and try and assemble it with all the pieces in here. So we'll time lapse to that. Okay, I have all the pieces assembled here and glued. I just use standard Elmer's glue, and I have all the Tapestry bits out here. And I didn't mention, but I do have the geeked up bits right here with the victory point and then the advancement specialty tokens. And those actually fit in the trays here whenever I did the little dry fitting. And there was a couple of cards that they replaced in the expansion, and I'll show you those. The bird watching perch, the villa, and the castle, as well as the oil paint technology card were replaced. All 3 of these cards were accidentally mirrored, and the oil paint didn't have the neighbor icon right there next to the art symbol. So they sent those in the new Fantasies and Futures expansion. Here are all the little pieces, all glued up, ready to go. I'm gonna put all the pieces in their homes, and I'll time lapse that, and then we'll start putting it into the box over here. All right, I think this is the biggest pain in the butt here, is putting the buildings in correctly and wedging them in here. It's probably my least favorite part of the whole insert, is trying to get them all where they go. So let's do that. So I think some of these just barely squeak by. If you do like a vertical test, you can kind of see that this one might peek over just a hair. The Evercastle does poke out whenever you have it, but that's because the piece with the dice that has the indentation is supposed to go right on top of it, so it'll fit like that. So that's how that's meant to go. Now we're gonna put it all in the box here. An issue that I'm running into here is that I have the geek up bits And I tried to nice and neatly stack them in here, and they don't quite, you have to like really rattle the box and get them nice and flush in order to get everything stacking on top of itself. So those might have to be stored somewhere else alternatively, which I can kind of see some areas where I can squeeze them in, but I was able to just wedge them in there. I think if I had one more piece, because I ordered the part, they don't have the arch track. So if I had that, I'd probably really be in trouble. So this is everything in the box right there. I think this is where the civilizations are gonna go. But other than that, it seems to be kind of a crapshoot about where you're placing your capital cities, as well as where you're gonna put the arts board, and then where you put this right here, and then you also have all of your income mats, and then the rule books. So I'm gonna do my version of putting this all together, and let's see what we get. So this is kind of a moment everyone's waiting for. You slide that on there. And there is a little bit of lid lift. I've tried to make it not have lid lift because all the pieces just don't have spaces once you get past all the little inserts. So what I did was I put the rule of the game board right there on top, and it looks like the capital mat can go right here, but because of how the space tiles are laying, you can't, I don't think you can put the space tiles. You can put them that way. So that's where they're supposed to go. Aha, light bulb. Now you'll put them on like that. You might have some kind of semblance of a non-lifted game. Alright, there's just a hair of a lid lift right there, but if you you can wiggle the top of it. Alrighty guys, so the Tapestry folded space insert, I do like it. I think it was a great addition, and getting a big box version of this was completely unnecessary because according to Stonemaier Games, they are done with Tapestry. There's no more expansions, and the base box was big enough to fit everything in it. So I did notice that there were some instructional issues with the folded space insert. That was, I think, one of the trays told you to punch out more than you should have, but it worked out because the next tray that you're punching out used those pieces. So if you just set them aside and then just ignore what it told you to punch out, because it was basically like a duplicate, and it ended up working out in the long run anyway. I didn't do version 2. I heard there was issues with version 2. So you'll have to look up those instructions, I think, on the Facebook page, and he might have even posted it somewhere on his website to help fix those issues. I don't know exactly what happened, but the version 2 is built slightly different. There are some leftover, sorry, camera shake. There are leftover pieces from the actual folded space. So this is sheet 1. I have 2, 3, 4, and 5. I didn't even use sheet 6 at all. So if you want to switch the version 2, I guess you could. You'd have to kind of break all the glue that you put together and hope that you have all the pieces unbroken, and you could switch the version 2 and keep these stored in a closet just like you store all your games on a shelf. Anyways, that is Tapestry folded space insert. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was informative, and I will see you next time.